one that I've been thinking about.
Cool.
Some kind of liquidity whale games you could be playing, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to see if it ever happens. So it's like I talk a lot about the Hex to Icosa liquidity pool and how it's kind of like a really cool pool to provide liquidity for, because there's so many of the unknowns that come along with liquidity providing are knowns in the Hex Icosa pool, in that we can theoretically predict when prices should move up, when the ratio of the two coins should shift. That's not really always known in like a Hex to Hedron pair or even like a USDC pair. We have a mechanism to predict that theoretically in the Hex Icosa. Now, one potential problem with providing liquidity in this pair is, say Icosa fails hypothetically in like a parade of imaginary horribles, you end up with all the Icosa and none of the Hex, and Hex is the thing that's valuable. And so the question is like, how could you like provide liquidity to this pair while minimizing your risk of losing any Hex? Because if you provide liquidity at a certain ratio, you have to provide both of those coins at both sides at that specific ratio. If you provide single-side liquidity, you have to provide outside of that range in order to only get native risk, in order to only risk one side of the tokens. And so it's like, if we're at a certain ratio and I wanted to yield my liquid Icosa without staking it in the actual staking pool, but I wanted to stake it in this pool, but I didn't want to risk any of my Hex, how would I do that? Well, one thing somebody could do with a large stake, a Icosa stake, is unstake that large stake, say it's like a big whale stake, 360 days, sell down the Icosa Hex ratio so that it's now below that ratio, and then put in, and then they've gotten Hex out of that because of that. But now, since the ratio is below where the ceiling price is, they can put just all of the Icosa that they got from their stake into that at that ratio without having to risk any Hex, and then wait for people to buy it back up or buy it back up themselves with the Hex that they just got. So now that they've added a liquidity position that is liquid, which is a big difference between the Icosa staking natively, because there's a lockup period. So you're getting liquid yield without having to risk any Hex that way.
For sure. And you could just play that game just by watching the t-shirt rate ratchet up too, without even having to sell it down in the first place. You could you could just take your one-sided liquidity and set it in the sorry, you guys can't see it, there's a gnat attacking my face. But that's not my normal hand movements. But
you don't usually talk like this when you're walking.
You just wait until like, say, okay, it's going up in the next 30 days. Let me just put it there and then wait till it gets there. That's another way to do it too.
Oh yeah, and that is just so stress free. Like you just just go visit our buddy's site at hexfire.io and you know, our buddy Crispy there, and go check out that chart. Like if you're somebody who's trying to buy up a lot, I mean, or sell, if you're trying to sell a lot, right? There's a lot of excellent, like Jesse talks about this a lot too. There's a lot of excellent ways to responsibly get in and out of crypto without moving the chart much. Like and just as this community gets more tenured over time, like it, you know, we're gonna be unstoppable. I mean, we're learning
see those
all
huge
the right
sells. Is Hex going to be out of business? We're not gonna see any like crazy moves like that in the future. Well, there'll always be new people. I think we should always want that to happen, because that means new people are coming in, right? Where it's kind of getting recycled. New people are coming in, they're learning, they're graduating. And then, you know, we have like the new recruits coming in. They got to learn how to use liquidity to buy and sell and stuff like that.